All right, so hello everyone. Today is Sunday, January 17th, 2022. I'm on my way to go pick up some celery and some eggs. Y'all know I've been doing a celery and egg, well, not celery and egg, but I've been making homemade stuffing, which requires, of course, my stuffing, my celery, and eggs is needed for my bread pudding, because those have been my go-to sides and probably will be for some time. We're here in Valdosta, Georgia. It's about 54 degrees today. I'm a teeny bit chilled in a sweater and some flannel tights and some shoes with no socks. This is a field that's down the street from, well, I guess they call it a park. I guess it's part of the park. From the house, that's the IGA store that I do not like to go to. I always feel like I'm being ripped off when I go there. But we're taking a walk, and we're going to Walmart. We're going to pick up the celery and the eggs. Also, we're going to stop by a vendor. We'll just call it a vendor. We're going to stop by a vendor and see if I can make some changes in some of the services that I have. And then that is it. Some of the things that I've experienced so far. This is a little, I don't know what this is. And I hear something really loud. It's probably just somebody with loud music. But let me tell you a little bit about Valdosta, Georgia. The crime rate is exceedingly high. I did some research on the internet and it shows that it's at 8% on the crime index from 1 to 100, 100 being the safest. So we're at 8 in all of the cities in the US as far as safety. So we're almost at a 1, which would be not good. So there's only 7% of cities in the US with a higher crime rate, I guess, per number of people. Now, what's so weird about this to me is that, and yeah, they'd be ready to kill you in just a minute. They don't mind running you over. They don't mind hitting you. So, but the funny thing about this all to me is that when you look at it, it looks kind of country, you know, and it is kind of country. And if you listen to the people talk, it's really, really country, you know. If anybody knows what this is growing off of the trees, let me know. What does it feel? I shouldn't touch everything. It's really soft. It feels like hair almost. It looks like, I guess it's moss, but it feels like hair. But yeah, so, but it is country. It's very poor and it's very country. I was looking up some more of the statistics and it was saying how it rated an F for employment. Because really the only place that you could really work, well, there's other places you can work, but they're more hidden. You would have to be in the know to know, you know. But it's basically just the grocery stores, which are not like big brand grocery stores. You have Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, you know, just typical places like that, right? And those are kind of way out. This is considered the city. But even though it's a country feel because it's a small town, this place is, whew, I made it worse. It's because I have stickers on here because I don't like the fact that the phone can turn on, and just, you know, nobody likes that. People like a certain amount of privacy, which we have none, you know, because even when we think that we're taking safeguards, I'm sure there's other ways around it that we just don't know about. So, but anyhow, it's not that you're doing anything, it's just you want some alone time, you know. But yeah, so it's a really it's treacherous. Okay, this is, to me, this is the equivalent of Pine Hills, except it's in a country setting. If you know about Pine Hills, which is another place that really has a high crime rate. So I couldn't find like a consistent index to rate the crime rate. When I tried to look up Pine Hills, it blocked it. It wouldn't even allow it to be seen. So I'm sure it's more than that. And with the crime that's reported, keep in mind that's only the crime that's reported. The feel that I get, you know, being here in Valdosta, I feel like there's a lot of prostitution and drug trafficking, which doesn't surprise me because I remember when I didn't live, you know, I haven't lived in a little town like this since, you know, back at home in Hampton, Virginia. And people with big old dogs that wish they could get in the house, so they just got locked outside. You guys, I wish people wouldn't do that, you know, get animals they can't take care of. I know I can't take care of any animals. I can't take care of any children, so I have neither. Speaking of which, I posted something recently about, and the thing I hate about this is you don't know if you're ever covering up the mic by mistake or not, but I posted something recently about child abuse. And that's another reason I don't have kids, because this is, I knew since I was little, since I was 9, and I've never been abused to any extent that I'm aware of, you know, maybe little things that I probably didn't pick up on as a child, but nothing, you know. I can only recall one pseudo, and the only thing that person did was touch my face. It was no big deal. Not to me anyway, you know. But what was disturbing is he took me out in the hall to do it, you know. But anyhow, it was like a substitute teacher or something, one of those teacher assistants. But anyhow, whatever. I'm glad I wasn't abused as a child. Just leave it at that, right? So, yeah, but I talked about abuse, and I talked about how there's a, you know, 1 in 10 children are abused before the age of 18, and I believe it. You know, sometimes when you watch the behaviors of kids and things like that, you can tell something, you know. And then what prompted this was that I was on YouTube, and I think I was looking like at, because they had like the Snap series and the For My Man, which I can't watch because all of them, I think they, for copyright issues, they, you know, make it sound all weird, so I can't listen to it. There's always some weird, creepy music in the background. Ooh, it's getting warmer now. I'm gonna be hot in the sweater on the way back. It's probably gonna be like 70 degrees. But according to the weather app, it was only 56, and that was supposed to be the high, but maybe it was 56 before, and now it's gonna be like 70, 80, and I'll be burning up in the sweater. Oh my God. But I'm glad the sun is coming out. It's about, what time is it? Probably about, I don't know, 1 o'clock. I don't know, I can't see, but 12:31, something like that. But yeah, but the way that I came across it was, I was looking, I had YouTube in the background because I think I was tired of TikTok. When I want something to listen to steadily while I'm vibing with myself, I'll have it in the background. And it's good for me to be out now, because as I'm walking past this church that has a sign that says about the Black Museum, for our Black Museum. And I remember I went there just for that. There's no Black Museum to tour, you know. I wanted to see it, or maybe they didn't want me to see it because maybe they think I'm an infiltrator. I don't know. But yeah, and it's good for me to be out and see things, because when I see that, it reminds me of me. Okay, so I'm disappointed because I wanted to see the Black Museum that they're talking about, but I've gone there a couple times, and you know, you would think people would be excited to show you, but no. So I don't know what they did. Maybe they took the artifacts and sold them. I don't know what the deal is. But speaking of which, this is something really weird that happened yesterday. I was on again, the computer, whatever, and all of a sudden, and it was like in the background, it was like straight up crime shows playing, like Snaps, For My Man, and I never would watch stuff like that prior to legal, but it's kind of informative because I never saw that side of the world, you know. But all of those shows were playing back to back, and I was like organizing them by, you know, their locations, and I'm not gonna say I was working on anything, because really I wasn't. I was just in my feelings, and in my feelings. So so all of a sudden, out of the blue, the computer froze up. And it's been going for days, no problem, you know. But it didn't freeze up completely. The computer didn't really freeze up. What happened was the main monitor and the secondary monitor went completely black. And I'm like, okay, this is not good, you know, because even though I wasn't actively working on stuff, I still had stuff that was open that I was working on and adding to here and there. And so I turned the whole thing off, and when I turned it back on, it was so weird. The weird thing, like everything basically before I turned it off was all black. When I say black, I mean like it was all black related, because whatever the law algorithm saw that I was black and it was showing me like all my TikTok stuff is mostly black related. I don't hardly see any white people on my TikTok, even though I know there's white people out there. They're just not showing them to me, which is okay with me. I don't have any problem with it. I would appreciate more Asian people, but you know, whatever. And I need to start getting into that algorithm, or maybe, I don't know, because my mom told me maybe I'll hate it if I start seeing. Look, as I said, it's so misleading. It looks so country and picturesque out here, and this is like the poor country. This is like the worst area, I guess, to live in for regular houses, okay? But and it's not that big as like apartments on the other side. There's like a little apartment complex here, a little complex there. It's not a lot. So like I said, it's really misleading because I still have my angel out front. I don't know if I'm ever gonna take it down, and I'm really hungry now. Oh my god, I feel so bad when I see these signs out front where people have like Go Army or something like that, because I don't know, there's so many stories of women being abused or people being abused, period. But that's just in the system in general. And I came to the realization this year that we really all are slaves and we don't know it. We're slaves and we control each other, you know, by the way that we interact with each other, and you know, by societal norms that are unwritten, you know. I saw in the news the other day, there was a young man that stole a car from this Walgreens, which I'll be walking past on my way to Walmart. This young dude that stole a car, and he was young. He looked like a baby. Really, really like, I hate it when they leave the mailbox open like that. Mine was left open like that the other day. I hate that. And part of me wants to close it, but I'm not going to do that because if something happens. And that's sad though, you know. It's sad. You can't do things like that because, you know, the world is so crazy. But anyhow, but I wanted to close it, but I didn't. Would I have appreciated somebody close mine? Yeah. But, you know, with the way today is, I'm glad they didn't. This one, the whole cover is falling off. So, yeah, but you can't protect your kids. I mean, and they're not yours. You're just slave making, baby. You're a slave making factory, like literally, you know. And they start this. Let's talk about the school to prison pipeline. They start looking at your kids in 3rd grade to determine. They're doing their budget versus actual analysis the moment that you're born. 3rd grade is when you really get put in, and they determine whether or not you're going to make them money with the prison industrial complex. I mean, all of it's so crooked, you know. It's so crooked. And the only thing, like I said, in my life, I've always said that, you know, and I know by now at this time in my life that, you know, nothing's guaranteed, but I always said, you know, I've been proud of me because, you know, at the time, there's white people out here. I haven't seen white people out here before, but this is a predominantly black neighborhood. You got like a couple of white people, but that's how what the makeup of Valdosta is. It's like maybe 53% to 56% black, and like 40-something% white, and then you got like 1% or less than 1% of Latin and Asian and all of that good stuff. Ooh, their yard looks good. Their yard looks real good. This is a house that I really want. It looked really nice when the Spanish people had it, but the black people doing okay too. How am I doing with my house? That's what I need to know. I'm doing okay. It ain't bad. I mean, the grass is not uniformly cut because, you know, I'm just letting nature take its course and it doesn't need to be cut. But yeah, I like how they double lock their fence. And whoever they are, they don't have a whole lot, but they take care of what they got. And I guess that's the whole gist of it all, just taking care, you know, of what you have. And that house is a good investment. If these are young people, if they're young people, I mean, because it has a screen patio, a hot fence all around. I mean, that's just wonderful. Privacy. The only thing I'll be annoyed by this trash that people throw when they walk past, but I don't like that it's like on a street that's a little more traveled, but it's nice. Look at that, the high gate all around. There's a shed in the back and a little tin covering as well. Oh, about Valdosta and crime. Once again, this is the type of place where they don't really care. They really do not care about you. I swear that thing that happened, I felt like I was being targeted. Like it was like, bam, like that person intentionally, I don't know, like somebody, it was like a movie. I don't know if that's the case or not. I'm sure it probably wasn't. Majority of the, you know, hypothesis that it probably wasn't. But that's what it felt like. It felt like one of those hits. It could have been a movie. And I wish I could write a movie or something like that where, you know, you have this person, and it would be nice. This is just fiction, you guys, but you had this person that had maybe some special powers or whatever. Here's the story, right? This is how the story would go. Like this person, she was, you know, very bright and intelligent growing up, and then something happened in her life and everything changed, and she started living this lackluster life, right? And you didn't know whether this person was going to make it, period. And then this person was really marginalized, a real nobody, right? And then all of a sudden, they're doing something real trivial. They're going through the normal things, just like the movie Seven, when you had that guy that really, the devil didn't want him and God didn't want him either. Like, he was so pitiful, you know, and he would commit suicide. You know, none of this. You know, the devil was sick of him. God didn't want him. You know, he wasn't bad enough for the devil to be able to use him. And he was so pathetic, God didn't want him. And it was like one of those, I gotta be careful crossing here because these people, they do not mind running you over. And see, the light done changed on me already. And I can't run because my knees. Okay, I definitely do not have, like they say, Megan knees. I definitely do not have. And this is where the guy almost hit me last time. And I was right here at this thing. I want to cross the street, but I don't know if these folks are going to see. She don't even have her signal light on. These people don't have their signal lights on. They just be turning. No, none of them had their signal lights on. They just turn without signal lights. So I need to do a public service announcement. Dear Valdosta, Georgia, please turn your signal lights on when you're about to turn. There's pedestrians and things that are walking, and they need to know if you're turning or not. Turn your signal lights on. It's a windy day, so. Yeah, they need to put up a sign or something, you know, please turn on your signal lights. Watch for pedestrians, turn on your signal lights if you're turning. That's why I love walking, and to me it seems more dangerous to walk here than it did in Orlando. I have to catch my breath after that, because when you're a pedestrian and stuff like that happens, especially if you're a pedestrian that drives, I mean, it's just turn your signal lights on. Turn your signal lights on and watch. It's almost like, how does it feel? It feels like a personal attack, because these people are doing something that they're not supposed to do, and it could put somebody else at risk. And my perfect note is, I have walked at not the corner before, but that's not usually when you get hit. You usually get hit or people are driving when you're not, because you can't see. If you're right at the corner, you're expecting people to watch out for you because you're where you're supposed to be at. They don't. So it's like you have to be far enough back where you can see where people are coming. But whatever, I'm thankful for life. I'm still here. Hopefully I do not. And that's what was scary to me too about the last part of last year. Like September, October, November, December, all after my little accident thing, all I saw was people getting accident, people getting killed. And it's always around Christmas time where you have a bunch of people that are getting killed in vehicular accidents or pedestrian, with something to do with vehicle, something like the keys out the car. I can't help but to remember the stories of Korean on, so I'm so sad. I'm getting back on Korean TikTok. I'm going to start posting. I was going to start posting in different languages, but my Korean needs some help. So, but it would take a lot of time, which I can use. And I've been taking time lately. But basically, see how these people just drive across the spot? Basically, just time. Walking to, because these people cut right across the parking lot like it's nothing. Big old car, it's a truck. And the thing that's a slap in the face to me, I guess, too, as well. Because, like, that lady, when she turned that corner and she wasn't looking and she knew she wasn't looking, she kind of laughed, like, you know, like, I wish, I don't know, there's a lot of things I wish. Just like I used to wish when I was younger and guys would yell at you out of the car that the car was spontaneously combust. And there's been times I haven't had any problem with anybody talking to me lately, but partially because I'm in the house. But now I wish, like, people that don't obey traffic rules, I wish their car would just break down right at that point. I wish that on them, because you shouldn't be driving like that. You shouldn't be not paying attention to pedestrians. I wish that on them. I wish your car would just break down right at that moment where you decide that you're going to make a turn and not turn on your turn signal, or like you're about to turn and you don't have that turn signal on. I really wish that on them, but their car would just just break all the way down. Okay, so I'm walking all the way down here. How do I feel about this? I don't know, because I'm at a grocery store right now, but I can turn back around. But there's something that I really do need to take care of. So I'm going to continue to walk and continue to get where I'm going. I was thinking about how this is a long video. This is going into one thing into another and not really finishing one. And I'm okay with that because I need some more view time. So I am going to upload this as is. And it's only 4 days. But yeah, so in other news, I'm looking at this nail salon that I went to one time, and I think about how, you know, regular black people, when they always go to get their nails done, you go to these places and they're so cheap, and there's chemicals and things those people use that are illegal to use in the U.S., but they use them because they're cheap, and they use them on mine because you could tell I got my nails done one time, and it looked nice, but never again. But because you don't know what people are doing. You just like the food. I didn't know that with foods as well, that I didn't know that with foods as well, that countries where the foods are shipped out to different, they just leave out those chemicals that are illegal in their country, like the U.S. is really poisoning us. And I saw that in this film that they said was propaganda. I don't know anything about North Korea, but they say it's propaganda, but it was produced by North Korea. But it wasn't nothing really wrong with it. They were just basically telling the truth that the U.S. poison is just a commercial center where you go from commercial spot to commercial spot and you forever enslave yourself. And it's really true. And I think for the most part, I'm not. Or I used to think for the most part I'm not enslaved. But the truth about it is I am addicted to the internet. Without the internet, I would be hurting. So if there was a way for me to train myself to not be on the internet, that would be good. And I know I'm gonna get hungry as I'm walking, so I don't know where I would go to eat. I'm so hungry. I'm hungry now. I didn't bring any coupons with me, even though I know I had coupons. That was dumb. See, I gotta get accustomed to walking again. This is like strength training. I didn't want to drive. God put me in a situation where I knew it was him. That was just like, okay, because I had no intention of getting a car. And then that was for a few years, right? I guess I could really cross the street, but I'm scared. I'm not gonna do it. But so, and then, okay, let me be mindful. I have the stop hand, so this person has their light on, but as soon as I start walking, if he starts going, hut two, okay, I got the light, that's so good. But see, that's the bad thing. They get the light as soon as I get to go to walk. They get the light at the same time. So what it is that they don't watch out for pedestrians, so they'll just go when they see you walking. So these bring back such memories. I'm on those little, I don't know what they're called. Are they dandelions? I think they are. They're white. Do they go from white to yellow? I'm not sure. It's been a long time. But yeah, I miss my mom. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm appreciative. Just like people say, like fathers are sperm donors or whatever. You know, everybody has a purpose, you know. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. I wanted to start looking up my 23andMe or whatever, the DNA. And I guess everybody's doing it, but I don't know. I mean, I want to do it because I don't have any family, so I still want it documented, my family tree documented. So I think I might. I don't know. That's not a priority, I guess, on my list because it's at least $100, and I don't know if I want to spend $100 on that. But I guess it would be a catalyst, you know, to do that, because then I could look at, it would maybe encourage me to go get a passport and stuff. But what I really wanted to do was, you know, and it's true. Like, just as I'm about to do something, it just, bam, something happens. But, you know, I really wanted to get that cargo van and convert it and start traveling, you know, just like from place to place. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing that. But we'll see how life goes and how it dictates it. But that's what I really want to do, because that would be like this is the perfect time. Like, almost 50 years old, shit. But 40, it makes you curse for real. But, and not in a, it's just in shock, like, I can't believe that. But, yeah, so me, this age, you know, this is the perfect time, because you're still quote unquote young enough where where you're mobile, but you've been through enough where you're not super excited, and you have a little bit of weariness to you. Wariness, not weariness. Might have that too, but wariness is the word that I'm looking for. So you sit back and observe a little bit, right? So I think this would be perfect. The only thing that scares me, again, because with the way the world is changing, That's what concerns me a little bit, because yeah, but I really want to do that. Just pick up on all my roots, go back and maybe do a visual of my whole life journey. I should have filmed South Carolina when I was there. It was really no reason for me to go back, but I would love to do that. Just travel, get a vehicle for X amount of time and just do that. Just travel for, like, I don't know, for 3, 4, 5 years. Okay, 5 years of traveling and working online, though. Working online for me, independently, and also traveling. I would start from my birthplace. I would get my 23andMe or whatever test first. And I'm really hesitant about that because I really don't want nobody tapping into my DNA. I don't know what they're going to do with it. They already have it probably. I don't want them to, like, recreate me and my consciousness still be here or some crazy shit like that. I don't want nothing. I don't want none of that. You know, when I'm gone, when I'm dead, I want to be gone. You know, I want to be gone, and I want to pass the torch on to whoever the next spirit is or entity that's here, you know. Or maybe we're already spirit. We are spirit. We don't have a human experience supposedly. But, you know, when this physical form is gone, I don't want them tampering with whatever the natural way is for it to come back. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no tampering. I just want it to be natural. I don't want none of that, you know. And I won't be creeped out, like I say, because my niece is so funny. When I was little, it just acting like this. Her body type is different. She's really skinny. I've never been skinny, that skinny like that, you know. Yeah, so I want to travel everywhere. You know, I want to start back from and retrace the steps of, you know, my family. And, you know, and especially since I've been disowned, you know, and I think about my dad and how I looked up his, you know, his obituary and whatever, and I'm sure he didn't get the care he needed, but as far as still being alive, but I looked him up, and it's sad because you don't see, you know how they see, you have a regular obituary where so-and-so was survived by so-and-so and so-and-so. Nothing, you know, nothing, absolutely nothing. And so I don't know. And then when I hear, and this is again about black people, you know, and being quote unquote in the South, you know, and I remember now when the thing happened, they call it the panorama. I don't like saying it because it's just, when that happened and they were saying how, oh, whatever, they're packed and whatever. And I was like, I walked past here twice today and it's absolutely empty. But on the news, they were re-looping the same clips of other hospitals and things. So, I don't know. And what I've enjoyed about myself for this time is that I've enjoyed, you know, spending time with myself, getting to know me. Because I think a lot of times, you know, just getting to know me. And this is great too, you know, being left by your family or whatever, left behind. It's good because, again, you really get to know you, you know. You have the basic things that are in place, but you get to know you. How do you react and respond in certain situations? How much of your responses and what you do is a result of the way that you were nurtured? And my nurture basically came from, you know, the quote-unquote education system. So, you know, I'm okay with all of that. So I'm trying to think what I'm going to eat, because I'm going to get hungry. Am I going to be able to make it there and get home without purchasing any fast food? I think so. And like I said, when I go to these walks, I never bring coupons with me, which is okay, because if push comes to shove, Little Caesars is always a good thing. $5, you can't beat that, you know. I'm not in the mood to like gorge on food. And this is another thing I hate about this, is like if you make a mistake and cover the sound portion, microphone, I hate that. And then with earbuds or the wireless headphones, they go away so quickly, you know, like they run out so quick. And it's always weird because you think you're charging them, but then sometimes you don't have any charge when you put them in. So I guess maybe I should get some good wired headphones, but I don't want to make myself a target because you can clearly see that I have on wired headphones. But maybe I should try that on the way back, because I really want to get back into walking a lot like I used to, you know, like years back. Get back into shape, health, especially since I'm getting older. And I am noticing that with my left knee, there's a little something going on. I can't really run, you know, it's like boop, boop. So, but I don't know. I look forward to this. I love the aging process. I don't know. And I know the world is going through some crazy stuff, but it's nothing new under the sun. Like my daddy used to say, like Miss Horn, my 9th grade English teacher used to say, it's a cycle, you know. But I just want to live out whatever my life is. I want to live it out, and I want to live it out naturally, you know, and I want to enjoy it, you know, or whatever other emotions come with whatever happens. You know, that's what I want, you know. But yeah, so I would really like to retrace my history, you know. I would like to start back and trace back and just do like a whole mini documentary film of me getting to know myself, you know. Going back to, you know, Moncrief Hospital, you know, to the hospital I was born in, which they moved. Go to the original site of it. Go there, you know, talk to some soldiers that are there. Talk to some older people that were vets or soldiers. Talk to some homeless people that were vets. And, you know, get to know, you know, and basically just live a homeless lifestyle, you know, out of the van. But that's what I would really like, you know, because get a chance to, because the people that's been through some things, you know, and then if I have an opportunity, I wouldn't mind, you know, maybe elevating it a step or two. No, or maybe it won't be elevated. You'll take it the way it is, you know, and go through, you know, my birthplace. Then go back to where Fort Monroe. I heard Fort Monroe is closed now. Go back there. Talk to the soldiers that were there. Because, again, my father was a soldier. Talk to them. Army, whatever. And I know there's a lot of negative connotation about the Army and stuff like that. But talk to them. Get to know. Find out. And the way, ooh, look at this. Wings, mac and cheese, greens. Ooh, they teasing me with all that. But I think they're closed today. So if they're closed today, that is a good thing. 5-piece, 2 sides, and a drink is $10.50. No thank you. No thank you at all, sir. Or ma'am, no thank you. All right, so I really am. Thankfully, this place is closed. These signs are really, this wind is so strong. So the weather has been so weird everywhere in all different places. So you really know something's going down. So, but the weather's been really weird. It's been cold now, or on the colder side, for the past couple of weeks. But prior to that, it was literally like the first week of January, last week of December, it was like 80 degrees, like really summertime. Then you had a day where it flipped over, the next day it was like 40. I was like, what? But I wasn't expecting it to be 80 because that was too hot for here. Yeah, I would really enjoy this, but that's what I want. I want to live whatever my life is supposed to be, you know. And I want to enjoy it, you know. I think for starters, we got to go vagabond, you know, and go visit all these places, you know, make my trip back through Miami, you know, back up through Hampton, back up through Richmond, Virginia, all the sights to see, back up to, you know, Howard University, Baltimore, Maryland, and then, you know, places out, and then, you know, Miami will make a pit stop and go back through all the cities in the South Florida area, you know. And like I said, really live like a vagabond for a while, you know. I would really appreciate that. And yeah. I'll go down to and maybe research like different places that crimes happen and revisit them. And I want to do this a couple times over. Maybe one time it'll be based solely on my life journey, and maybe another time it'll be based in part, some of it, on crimes that happen in that area. And just talk about my little life experiences here. And then go to, like I said, Key West would be a destination. And then maybe I'll take a hiatus from my hiatus. That would be so fun, right? Take a hiatus from my hiatus, drop into Cuba and Puerto Rico. But I know so much that I want to do, you know, and then come back up and, you know, we'll hit all the Korea towns everywhere and try Korean food. But I feel like I need to get all my languages out of the way first. You know, it's so much that I want to do, you know. And I think it's definitely doable. I think what I'm doing today is a good thing. I think I really do need to go and make these changes in my vendor services. But yeah, I think this is all good and it's the way it's supposed to be. When I woke up this morning, and I'm gonna say this, you know how people will be saying, and I never was one that really said this, you know how the old black people be saying, God spoke to me. And the only reason I know is because the black church, thank gosh, you know, because if it wasn't for, even though the church is gone to crap now, Pastor Williams, when we first came to the U.S., taking my mom to the black church, if it wasn't for that, we would have absolutely, I would have absolutely no black origination, except some things my dad told me. My dad did tell me about how Elvis Presley stole everything, how he told me a lot of things that I remember or that comes back to me, you know, as I see people posting stuff on TikTok. And that just tells you how rich an experience is of having someone in your life, because he was only there for like 10, 12 years, right? And there was a lot that I learned from that, you know? So this is the spot where that guy, where the police guy was coming from the Walgreens up here. He was somewhere around here. This is a Rodeo restaurant, which I went there before. How was it? I don't remember. It was okay, you know. Nothing to be like, oh my God, I gotta go back. It was okay. Nothing really special. It was all right, you know. Trying to remember. It was a while back, a few months back I went. But yeah, this is where the police, just like that police is right there. The guy, that's Valdosta police. The guy was around here and the cops had stopped, I guess, and they slammed him and whatever, and they had the wrong person. He was trying to tell them, hey, you know, I'm just coming back from getting a prescription for his whoever, you know. He did win the lawsuit, but that's the thing though, you know, when I look at that, you know, I'm glad that, I hope he's okay. And when they say he won the lawsuit, we don't really know. I don't know if these are kids or college students. I think they're college students, because Valdosta State is, oh, it is Valdosta State. So yeah, softball. Yeah, but I'm glad that, I hope he's okay, you know. Hope he's okay. Hope he is. So that's another thing I could add to my crime viewage if I wanted to about Valdosta. But yeah, but what was weird, like I was saying, and that's Valdosta police with the red and white. But what I was saying that was kind of weird was that with my computer, when I restarted I had a hard restart, hard reboot. When I did my computer like that, it came back on. It was, let me tell you what was weird. Everything on my page, even though I wasn't looking up Korea or nothing about, I wasn't looking up anything about any of that stuff and haven't looked at any of that in a real long time. Everything was Korean. Now, I'm okay with that. I would have been freaked out if it was in Chinese, which I've had that happen on my phone before, where it changed everything to Chinese, but everything was in Korean. I feel like I am gonna need something to eat, but I don't know where I'm going. But I want to try not to get something to eat from being out. If I do, maybe I get like a deli plate from Walmart or something like that. But yeah, so it was everything was, it was just nothing but straight Korean stuff. So maybe they were trying to test me because they couldn't catch the algorithm from all of what I was doing with all the crime shows. It was just something to listen to in the background, and possible content and possible therapy to help me to be able to post. Damn, 45 minutes. And be able to post about my life if I find something that inspired me to do so. But yeah, it was weird. It was like they were testing me to see what I would do. You know, they put all this Korean stuff, and of course I clicked on some of it, but I wasn't in a Korean state of mind, and perhaps I'll never fully be, but I'm going to revisit all of my roots and everything, and hopefully, you know, the ending place I'll end up is in Korea, hopefully learning the language or knowing the language, but I want to be like absolutely fluent in Spanish, and I want to get my French back up, but it'll all come. I really do believe that God leads me. And what I was talking about, speaking of God, back to that, it was like, you know how the old black people say things like, you know, God spoke to me this morning. And you're just like, okay. But let me explain that to you. It doesn't mean necessarily, maybe some people do hear voices. It don't mean that you heard a voice or anything like that. Because, again, that's terminology that I would never use because I never look at it like that. It's just instinct. You know what I'm saying? Like instinct. You're listening to your instinct is basically what it is. Because that happened this morning. Like, I got up, this is my normal thing, and I could have sat and plundered like I normally do, but I was like, nah, you know, I need to continue to make my stuffing and my bread pudding and stuff like that. So I was like, I need to go get eggs and then we can get celery, right? And so then I was like, yeah, I need to do that. And then I was like, I have a few choices. You know, I ain't trying to go to Mr. B's IGA because I always feel my spirit is not right there. I always feel like I'm being ripped off, or I'm gonna do a part 6. I'm going into Walgreens to use the bathroom.